School is out and students are ready for summer, many of them spending more time on their devices. So joining me now to talk about best practices when you are online using a device, I have Chris Furtick with Fortalus Solutions, a cybersecurity company. Chris, great to have you on. Let's start off with some statistics from the Mayo Clinic. For children 2 to 5 years old, you should limit your screen time to just an hour of high quality programming, and then you tailor your approach as the child gets older. In terms of things on the security front, I'm curious about what the biggest threat is to those who are online.
Yeah, so we're seeing a significant uptick in children being targeted for social media campaigns. So even small children who are on their parents' social media, for example, could give away information that may be detrimental to the entire family. We call that a family's digital footprints. We want to make sure that we understand what is exposed in social media, but also children need to understand the difference in the programming they're watching. It's very difficult for a young child to understand the difference between a YouTube video and an advertisement. So it's important that we train them and let them understand there are different types of media they can consume.
How can parents monitor a child's consumption? Do you have any advice on how they're able to do that?
Yeah, so there's several apps that you can use for that. But here's the most important part. There's not one app to use from birth till teen. So there's multiple apps you would use along the way. The first I would suggest is something like screen time. So you can limit the time that they're on the screen altogether, whether that's an hour and a half, whatever you set. Whenever the child gets a little older, you probably want to use an app like Net Nanny. And what that does, it controls the type of content they can see. So you may give them more time, but we also want to limit so they don't see anything that would be unsavory to them. And then finally, when they get even a little older than that, you want to use an app like Canopy. What Canopy does, it monitors social media usage as well as SMS texts. So you can understand at that point, what is your child posting online? What are they sending to their friends? So I know it's very app driven. One piece of technology, of non-technical advice I would give you, you have to talk to your kids, right? You have to set the expectations of what you expect them and how you expect them to operate on the internet. And that's really important. It's fine to have the digital safety net in as well, but educating them on how to be great digital citizens is where we should start.
Federal Trade Commission says it's going to crack down on education tech companies that have been surveilling children. Curious what your thoughts are on the future of online education.
So at the start of the pandemic, virtual learning became a huge issue, right? So these tech ed companies that they're called really exploded in services. One of the revenue streams they decided to exploit was to take data they've collected from your children and sell that off to data brokers. Now, the Child Information Protection Act prohibits them from doing that without your consent. And that's the big thing to think about here. When you were signing them up for their online accounts, you probably just clicked through the terms and conditions, and you may have given consent to be monitored in that way. So as we approach a new school year in just a few months, it's time for us to reevaluate that. When we're signing them up for their new accounts, let's make sure that we're reading the terms and conditions and we're not opting in for any of that type of surveillance. The Protection Act does not allow them to keep you from learning in that manner if you don't allow them to surveil you.
Chris, before I let you go, what are your tips for families navigating the summer months? Kids are going to be using their phones more, devices, being online, using social media. What are some tips that they can implement as they enter the summer season?
Yeah, so first off, I would say we've got to set some ground rules. We don't let them use the device anytime that they want, and also we don't allow them to have devices in their bedroom, right? At night, they should be getting sleep and proper rest. So those are the first things that I would do. And second, I would know what platforms they're on. You know, the new platform right now is TikTok, but what is it going to be in 6 months or in the future? Understanding what those platforms are going to be crucial. Also, we have to set a good example. If they see mom and dad at the dinner table always on their phone, that's exactly what the children are going to start to do. So those are non-technical things that you can do. From a technical perspective, we have to educate them on what they post on social media, right? Don't post that you're going to be going on vacation for the next week. But they're going to target your home at that point, right? So these are things that we want to make sure that we're educating them and helping them think long term. Children's brains and even some adult brains don't think long term. They don't think about the implications sometimes. So training them up to think that way is a great first step.
All right, Chris Furtick, Borderless Solutions. Always great having you on. Thank you.